Victor Wembanyama. Now, we know he's had spurts of greatness throughout his 2-season career. I mean, he didn't have a full second season, but in his first season, he had spurts, and in his second season, he was an all-star. So we know the potential of Victor Wembanyama. We've been talking about it ever since his name was even mentioned in draft talk. So we know how great he potentially will be or can be. Then last night happened. And all I can say, if this is the Wemby we're going to get for the totality of the 2025-2026 season, he might be hoisting up not only a DPOY, but that man might be the MVP of the league. Just looking at his numbers last night, the guy had a 40-point game on 15 of 21. That's pretty efficient, if you ask me. Then he also had 15 rebounds, and that's one aspect of his game I thought needs to really pick up, is he's not a big-time rebounder. Yes, he's in the double digits, but for a guy that's 7'4" / now 7'5", getting 10 or 11 rebounds sounds good, but he could probably up that average by a few. And I think if he can have a steady diet of 15 rebound games or more, I think we're having many different conversations as we go through this year and the years to come. I think that's been on our minds, that Wemby is going to be in the upper echelon of the NBA very soon. We just didn't know how soon. Of course, he's been working with Monks over the summer. He was working with Akeem Olajuwon. He's working with Kevin Garnett. Phenomenal people to be around for a big man, especially. And one of his biggest knocks is that he's a little too small to be posting up and playing a lot of interior big man kind of ball, physical ball. You know, he's packed on a few pounds. He's a little more solid when it comes to his muscle. He's a little more solid now, not huge, but he's getting bigger. You know, it was a progression for Giannis. You know, he didn't get muscles and the body he got now overnight. But it took some progression, and I'm seeing that with Wemby, maybe sooner than even Giannis was able to put on the mass that he put on. And I know it's only one game, and we shouldn't get too excited over one game, but it's just how efficient he was last night against a solid team. I mean, we look at Dallas, and many people believe them to be a potentially top 4 or 5 team out west. They have a solid rim protector in Anthony Davis. They have a solid big man in Derek Lively II. Wemby was just spectacular against all of the above, and he used his strengths. You know, he's not a guy that's going to post up and just dominate like that. He's not yet created a hook, sky hook, whatever you want to call it. If he gets that in his arsenal, game over for you guys. But right now, he's using tools. He's using a pick and roll. He's getting guys to lead him to the basket. I mean, he's 7'5", so it's not like many people can stop him from getting there. So when he's doing things like that, there's nothing these other teams can do. Guy that's jumping out of the building that can block him when he gets off the ground. And he barely has to jump to dunk it. So, you know, when he gets anywhere close to the basket or the rim, he's going to put it in unless you have a very, very strong rim protector, which I don't see too many of them in the league right now. And then he's getting more confident with his shot. Like, one thing he did last year, he shot a lot of threes, and people critique him on that because he's 7'4", now 7'5". Why are you standing at the line shooting threes? But that helps him get to the basket too, because if you have to guard him all the way at the 3-point line, you know, when he takes that huge first step, lights out, because you're not stopping him. You know, he's that good. And he showed, you know, he crossed up and got into his bag against Derek Lively. He's showing that big men aren't going to be able to stop him. So if you put a wing out there on the perimeter to try to guard him, you know, he's just going to shoot over him. So he's got the game to be nearly unstoppable offensively, and he's defensive-minded, so he's going to wait for you to make your mistake, and he's going to throw it into the 4th, 5th row. So this guy is probably one of the most complete players we've seen coming in as a big man. he can do a little bit of everything. And as he gradually gets better at all those things, how do you stop a guy like that? He's not like Shaq where he's just big and strong. He's not like KD where he's pinpoint accurate when he's shooting. But he's got both things. He's dominant in a way that it harkens back to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, where he's not wilt. He can't just overpower you, but he has grace. He's got fundamentals. He has tools that you just can't stop. Or if you stop him, it's going to take a high IQ and somebody that's really focused on just stopping him. You think of Nate Thurman, guys like that who were able to slow down Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, not stop him, but that was one of their main goals, was they had to focus on stopping him. Players are going to have to do that to Wemby because he has way too many weapons. He has the ultimate weapon, which is height, which you can't practice on that. He's God-given as far as his ultimate weapons. This might be a fun year to be a Spurs fan. I'm a Spurs fan, so watching what Wemby did last night was refreshing. It gives me hope. And I don't think anybody thought that this version of the Spurs were going to just run the Dallas Mavericks out the gym, and they did. Kudos to Wemby, 40 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks. Come on, man. And shout out to Stephon Castle, who's showing that he might be an all-star caliber player for the San Antonio Spurs. And it's just his second year. Those guys are some young talent to look out for. So I was pleasantly surprised and pleased to see Wemby do what he did last night. Cooper Flagg, first game, still got a double-double. Played okay. He's getting used to playing the point guard role, a point forward role, and, give him some time. I remember when Giannis was tasked with that with Jason Kidd, and he eventually got it and became really good at it. So, let's give Cooper some time and not jump to conclusions after one game, which I'm doing for Wemby, but this isn't Wemby's first game of his career. This is the first game of his third season. So I can jump to conclusions because if he's going to be this good this season, man, he's going to win all the awards. So anyway, I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you really did like it, leave us a like and please subscribe. Thank you.